not looking cute. But I saw that it killed mites. Let me wash my face first. I can continue here. Wait, am I thinking or thinking? I don't see no one here. Que sin corones están. Oh my goodness. Well, maybe I have to tell people. Maybe I can tell about the tea about this guy. um, so this happened a while ago. To give you a little bit background, when I was 14 to 15. Hello, was not when I was 15 only. It was like have a period of like 14 to 15, but like this thing kind of took more like meaning when I was 15, you know what I mean? Because this all happened when I was really like at that age. To give you context. And a pinky fall down, so I might just. But like, I will tell the most casual that I can, so this story will be more less will hurt less because this genuinely took me to therapy. Like this genuinely, besides all this stuff, but like I don't know, it just kind of was also one of the reasons why I take therapy. Now, what are a lot of reasons? Now you can give your conclusion about. Even though I talk to some people, but like what I'm going to tell, I don't recommend it. Or like I had empathy when I see somebody that is like with someone a little bit more older, but like I know the tactics, and I'm going to explain you as well. I hope this video will be like a little bit more entertaining, let's say, rather than just to cry about. But I will talk about so the lessons. How I met these two guys also, because there was not one guy involved. Like it needs to be two. In this story, and that's why I chilled down a little bit. And all that I want to say is that my genuine goal at that age was like having something to long term. Like my friend that she had. Like, I always had one classmate that, she used to go with one guy. Like, she had a blessing that she go with like one guy, and like until now that I saw her, she's still with that same guy. But I don't know if she lied to me, but like I see her with like this one guy, and like at a time that I didn't fully accepted myself, sexually speaking, because I was doubting my orientation back in time, but like I knew, but like I need something to affirm that I was not, but like I still knew deep down that like your thing is not boys, and I was like definitely, but like it was more like that, I must say. So the genuine background was like that. Like, to be honest, just know. Oh my gosh, okay. Like, just know what somebody has to offer, and like if they tell you they just want to hook up, just know that. Like, just know. Don't push things. I want something to long term, because both of these guys were hookers, and like I'm really lucky that I didn't date something with it. You know what I mean? Both of these guys were hookers. Like the first one was like more chic, and another one was like more open about it. Like I had one honest, and like the another was like not honest. But like the first guy that I met was really rare, and like was really funny. I always talk about it, but I didn't talk about how I met the next guy, because both of them are linked. And I go to this theater event in high school back in time, and my mom really, I was hiding things from my mom. I feel like you need to be more open, whether it's with your parents, with your grandparents, just a parent that you have the confidence or trust, even though it could be your aunt, your auntie, I don't care, but like someone, so they could give you a little bit of because when you are blindly, like having deeper emotions could also make you be blind for some people behaviors. But like at this time I was just kind of wanting to um just I want something to learn from. But like at the theater when I met this guy, and that was in my own high school, so I didn't need to, go around, met somebody and whatever. Because at the time it was just high school, home, high school, home, high school, home, and that was really on the thing. And I don't understand why I didn't like pay attention to like what I wanted, because at that time as well I was friends, but like not like deep friends into like knowing this guy or another guy, that I just because he was like the guy, that is good, whatever, because he was the son of like a lawyer, like somebody related with law stuff, political things, and he was studying. But like it didn't call my attention because he always was as busy as I was, but like he was not like he was just focused into studying and like became that, because at the time he also had like he was basically studying. So I was like, okay, whatever. But like his perspective was just to focus, because even though in high school he always wanted to study, so I was like, okay, study, respected, but like the good type of people are kind of busy, and I didn't understand. I didn't understand. I will do also my lashes, so that's why I've had my lashes kind of naked and needles a curler. But like that was pretty much the concept that I had, the poor concept that I have about a relationship, because I also read the book of like 50 Laws of Power, which is related to this. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Like, had something on my tongue. But like that was it. So pretty much I just had that kind of thing. It took me like 2 days to kind of know. Like I was really excited, but like I had this mindset or like this thought, oh maybe it will be cute, maybe have like a little date, maybe just go around, whatever. Because all my classmates were doing like I didn't have interest in it at that time. I really didn't. I was just seeing people, oh my gosh, they're gonna break up. Like I just think about it. But like I had just one particular classmate that I was telling you that they didn't broke up. Like even though the worst brainstorming could be happening and they will still be together. Like they were like the strongest couple. But like it's none their business, not of mine. But like pretty much I just had that kind of admiration for the type of relationship that they have. And it took me 1 day to know this guy, like one, I don't know how many hours, but like I was close to one of my classmates that I genuinely, I feel like I was catching some feelings, but like she was about to move out and I really didn't know to when to scare her because I genuinely was kind of in my time just being like that because we were close. Like we literally share everything, food. We share stories about the boys that we both like in a sense, because I really didn't like them. I just wanted validation at the time. I genuinely was wanting validation from men at the time. So I really didn't know anything about psychology because I didn't take therapy at all, and I was just okay. Let's maybe go. Let's maybe whatever. And she was kind of brown, kind of thing. That always was my. I never had like a color favorite color in girls, but like I always like what I like. And for most that I want to explain to somebody that I'm demisexual, I'm sapiosexual, and whatever type of sexuality that I am, people always will be pointing, you're not sapiosexual, you're not demisexual. They're always be teasing me, and I'm over it. I really am over it. I'm over it to prove it. I'm over it to be teased. I'm over it from everything. But I'm over it. And so there is one time that I genuinely kind of sit down because I met another girl in this kind of. We always called I don't know, you in your college or like in the place or in high school, whatever. But like each month or like each fine of the month is close to like October. You kind of had a time when you need to do like a little presentation to maybe tell what you learn, like what you learn, basically that I tell you. And that is when I met. That is when I met that did say someone who was kind of my type in a sense, because she generally loves like history, like knows some stuff and like was kind of playful, like was giving me that she kind of was like my type. And even though I was really sweet, like I'm not kidding, I was really sweet. I was like a cupcake to them. I mean to her. And like that was a time that I like need to look 2 times. Like I need to be, even though she asked me like before, and even though I went or like after. No, it was like way after, but like I was kind of having that kind of awakening in this time because many things were going on. Even though before COVID happened, I need to turn the light on. I need to turn the. Oh my gosh. This is all over the place. But Well, like, definitely that was going on, right? So I was genuinely kind of lost. So the time of this theater event, I was having this stuff on the back of my mind, basically, because I was like, why I couldn't accept it? Like, maybe I need. And then I remember the advice that I received for some of my family members that said, you need to go around, see if you like somebody. If you like maybe a kid, you can maybe try with another person. They were basically saying try, whatever. And I don't know, that was a kind of experience, but like, it was just a time that I was like, okay, I will take this advice. I will go in a day with a man or whatever. At that time in my teens, I was just, kind of going, and then I met this kind of guy in the theater, and I was like, it's giving me vibes of a good person, which I was wrong. Now I have a radar for that as well. Like, and yeah, he was finishing high school while I was in the middle. But like, we both were dumb. Like, at the time, I was like, whatever. And yeah, I found him through a parent, and because they used to teach them, so I was like, do you mind to give me their ID, or like their, not ID, but like their user, so I could text them. And I was like, whatever. And I was like texting with them. And at some moment, I was, why they told me to go on a date. And I was like, yeah. It didn't take them for like 1 month. I feel like a fully month was like into that, and they were like, whatever. But like, he used to date a lot. That's what I, now looking back, I'm like, no, he used to date a lot. So we set up like a date for a day, and whatever. And at the time, I was, kind of going there and whatever, and we go on a date. That's pretty much what happened. At the end of the day, I was like, whatever. Maybe we'll try. Maybe let's see. Maybe let's whatever. And that was pretty much it. Then we move on to the day was like the worst day that I had. I was waiting for like 1 hour straight because he told me to be there at time, but like, he told me to, you can take your time, you can just be whatever. And it genuinely took me out of guard. Mm-hmm. And pretty much that was what's going on. And the craziest part about this is that while I was waiting, I really was on time, while he was like really late. Like, he was just 30 minutes late. And I don't know why. I feel like was, I don't know. He genuinely come late to the date. That's what I've been like. I'm over dating because I always think too long term. Well, it wasn't funny, but like, I always think too long term, but like, it always makes things to be short term. That's one of the most funniest things that happened. Every time that I said to be something too long term, he always ended up to be short term. For some sad reason. Like, always ended up being like that. Kind of funny. So I was waiting. like he was like excited and surprised and whatever. And I was, kind of, well, we only were like 3 years apart. I feel like we're like 4 years apart. I really don't know. I can't remember. Well, I fully remember. For like 3 years, and why is singing the play? At this time, I was, kind of interested in a sense. I mean, my mom even though called me, being like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "Yeah," because we had two events at this day in particular. One that I was invited that was basically about like this book, and I was interested in the book and like in this kind of, well, like he was not interested about my thighs, to be honest, to be fully honest. That was kind of the main thing, the why he did me. He was like, "Oh my gosh, do you work out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do because I started from that time. Like I started early." I noticed because I don't know. I wanted to look good for myself. I had anxiety for the time, so it was like nothing out of my control, like nothing that I didn't try. But I didn't have weight that time. Like I didn't have weight to hold and like work out with it. Like I just had a TV and myself. And I really just work out with my pajamas before I go to bed. And I reach like one, like I go first for like 100 and 200 and 300 and 500 squats before I go to bed every single day, like Monday to Friday. That was always my thing, but like I rest only when my body needed. And by that time, I really had more energy, so I was just going around doing my thing and whatever. So it was not something new to be known by. And so I didn't do it for likes or like for other people to see me. I just wanted to drain a little energy that I had. And that's basically it. And I was, okay, like I had this, whatever. While I was paying attention and asking for that, I noticed two signs also. Whenever somebody lies to you, you will know the first time. I don't know if it was because I knew about psychology, because I was genuinely obsessed with like one of those videos that tell 50 signs to know if someone likes you. No, whatever. Ah, these words. Hi, how are you? And like, I was genuinely on. You know what I mean? So, 50 signs to know if someone likes you. Like, the true sign if somebody likes you and doesn't lie to you is when they, by contrast, will do what they said. You know what I mean? And at that time, um, while I was, kind of going, like, meeting him, he was like, no, like, he was like, I don't like popular music because I think it's dumb. I don't know, whatever. And like, I was like, so what artists do you met then? Like, do you have a favorite artist that you like, perhaps? Because he was like, I'm not into popular music. I was like, okay, so what artists do you like then? And I was like, no, he was like, well, like Beethoven, Mozart. But melody Mozart, do you like one, number one, number two, number three? He was like, no, I just like to hear music. Like, I don't care about that. So I was getting skeptical all the time. I was getting really skeptical. Oh, I spilled my chocolate. Either way, I need a mug, a big mug. My pink mug was broken. I missed that. But like I was like doing questions specifically on time to know genuinely it was like a lie or not. So that was the first strike. The second one was I came eating, so I was like not hungry in a sense, because this kind of thing started afternoon. But like he was like with a backpack, which I know what is in the backpack now. Like as a person who likes the same, like who likes girls, I know what's on it. Even though that I talked to guys, that I asked them directly what's in your backpack, and like I kind of know now, but like at the time I was like, oh, curious. I was used to do this kind of joke, and like he was like, I date like a turtle because I came with a backpack. Oh my goodness! But like that was pretty much the thing. Like, and then he started to tell me about like a song that he like. He had wire phones, and like he told me about maybe you want to listen to this song, and I was like, yeah, but like which song? And I was like, no, you know that popular song that's and he literally quote every single line of that popular song that he said that he didn't like. And I was like, I pay attention to the songs, so no, was not catching nothing wrong at the time. But looking back, there was some inconsistency there. A lot of inconsistency, and I'm gonna take a pause. So that was pretty much what was going on at the time. And I noticed that sign. I was like, how you can hate these songs, but how you can know the lyrics. Because for someone to dislike something so bad, they don't need to know like about like to hate certain type of stuff you didn't know to know. Like you don't know. Like, I was not, that was not clear at all. And then like in just one day we had, I was kind of having like this kind of plan to feel like, you know, whatever that will happen, everything will be good and that. And like he actually invited me to his prom, but like at the time that was the first and last kiss that I had with someone, and I really didn't like it because he took like 2 hours in the bathroom, and I was like kind of scary because I don't know what he was thinking, and he just go for a popcorn. I was like low key kind of scared because what do you mean that it's just one day that like he just wanted to like no, I mean I didn't want to, so what is that? And he was going to the he was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and like he took like the time that a girl take in the bathroom. Like I dated the princess at the time. Without being offensive, but like tell me why this man took 1 hour. 1 hour to go to the bathroom. Like he was throwing up. What was going on? I wanted to check also what was in the bathroom at the time. I was getting a little. I was in the bathroom that it takes so much. And yeah, I was waiting and waiting, and I almost fell asleep at the time. And whatever, we kind of had a little kiss, and I hold both of his hands because I want to see what he had on his phone, genuinely. And I come with a strategy, let me tell you. Because I was holding one hand and I was holding the another hand, but like the another hand, well, like he had his phone, but like at the time that because he had his backpack, whatever, and like I genuinely could see the message when I kissed them. Like I see the message that are you free tonight, and they were like, yeah, I'm free tonight, and like he was going there with someone else. That wasn't me. And that was so funny because I genuinely think that I was the one. Only that he was dating, but like I thought ain't nobody take it seriously. That it could be 1%. Was one of the funniest things that ever happened, and I see the message with like one girl. So it was basically that, and I was like, he doesn't want something serious, and like, no one at that age is looking for something serious. No one at that age is something looking for that. My dog is just and yeah. So yeah, basically that was pretty much it, and like at that time I feel a little bit used, but like I used him to see if I like girls or not. And I didn't like it because all the time that I was like in this middle of this kiss or whatever, because I didn't know how much it lasts. I was like, this is what people go to. This is what the movies paint you. This is what people feel. Because I hear from my classmates that they used to feel bubbly, they used to feel really nicely, just really like sharing your soul with somebody else. And that was I did not feel like that. I did not feel like that. Even though that my mom literally just saw me being happy, I was like, maybe I'm happy because of the food that I had, not because what I did. Because it was not hitting to me. I genuinely wanted my popcorn to be the way that I want it to be. Wait, is this nice? No. But like it was like that. I had many things on mind. I was having a lot of things in my mind. All this time I was just thinking in one classmate that I had, like the girl that I met in this kind of event. And I was not thinking in this guy. But at the time I was like, I will let it up, the things be sitting on because I genuinely couldn't go way far with this guy because I was not feeling it. I was off at the time that I go to psychologist. Like I was just not feeling it. Basically, I was turned instead of being turned on, I was turned off. That was basically what happened. And on top of that, he smelled like my mom. Not good. Not good. Not good. I don't know if he still the perfume of their mom. I don't know, but like not cute, not cute, not cute. I want somebody who doesn't smell like my family. Like who doesn't have a smell of one of my family members, please. Like what new smell, that's what I love, natural smells of, like, I don't know, but like, I love that. And later maybe we'll talk about it. But like that was basically what I had in mind. And I was kinda lost at the time. And I was having, oh my gosh, but I had this date, but oh my gosh, I wait. But oh my gosh, I think about this person and this client that I said that I will never have feelings for. And then I was like, oh, like everything just pile it up a little bit. And then I started to realize maybe your things. Maybe you like other flavors. Maybe you like your same flavor, if you know what I mean. And I was in completely disaster. I was didn't want it to accept it. Was maybe if I push harder, maybe if I do this something, I will let it. But I still talk with this kind of classmate that I had catching some feelings for at the time, because it was like three that I only had like kind of some feelings for, like just three, my entire, because all of my classmates were girls, and I met guys that were left from a high school there were only boys. I don't know why we had this thing. I genuinely don't know. So then I kind of had a little moment, and I didn't talk to him as much as I want, because at the beginning I was like doubting a little bit my orientation, and then I was like, how? That was the time that I fully came out to myself, because I didn't when I came out to my family. Yeah, I was kind of in the closet, but like to came out, you need to came in first. I feel like you need to came in to yourself and be honest what you really like, because it was not in my mind to be jealous from someone else, like from one of my classmates, and just being kind of like wanting to. It was not clocking anything. So there was one night that I basically do like this test in the internet, like, are you into women or into men? I was like kind of being like, maybe I'm into both, because I dated one guy and I was like, if I did, I didn't want to accept it. I really wasn't excuse. That was the funnest excuse that I used was like, maybe if I like somebody who looks way. So that was pretty much what was going on for like this time that I was kind of doing retrospective. I was like reviewing it, what I passed. Basically, I was like, maybe if I like this more, maybe if I really was like all over it. There was one night that was literally sobbing, but like I can't be this way because I had this background being like a missionary in this church and whatever. I really walk for the Bible. I have principles, like I told you, like Catholic principles, in all my life since growing up. Like, and the only thing that I feel like kind of changed was just to my family is getting busy, but like I will try to do this story short and quick because it's been 40 minutes that I've been all over it. But like this is one part and this is one part too. But like then we met the cherry on top that oh, I wanted to fully confirm at this time that I was kind of doubting myself, and I go into a prom and there was like one particular kind of thing that happened there. Like it was that this guy that I had like some interest in, at least for, like he told me at the finish of this whatever kind of kids that we had, he told me that maybe you can come into prom and like maybe we can go around and whatever, and maybe we can dance. I was like, okay, cute. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And at that time I was kind of more skeptical because he told me that I can go and I can dance with him, but like, why he didn't tell me that I was not the prom partner that he was going to. I was not the girl that he was supposed to invite him to his prom. And like, he had in particularly two type of styles. Like he had one nerdy styles. I always was interested in nerdy people. For some reason, I don't know why, but like deep down in my core, like I will like nerdy girl. Deep down, like nerdy people that have knowledge, I always like them a lot. And so, um, I don't know. I was, why? Maybe let's get maybe, I don't know. Well, like he went with his ex. and he literally posted on Facebook like being like, I'm with her, you know, it's fine to connect with some people that you left behind, something like that. And I was like, but he literally just came to me with like the date, let's say without glasses, with a hoodie, jeans, and like some kind of sneakers. Like that was pretty much their outfit to came to the day. But like with this girl in particular, like he came with glasses. Like he really just came like himself because he was a little bit blind, which I love blind people. Like let people be blind, please, in peace. We cannot be still looking cool wearing glasses or something. Like kind of that was my thing. So yeah, I kind of had a little retrospective, and after the prom, I was like, maybe I will resolve this in the prom, and then boom, I ended up into the prom, and then at that time, I was turning, I feel like 15 at the time. I turned 15 at the time that I went to the prom and whatever. That was fully finishing. I don't know. Yeah, I turned 15, whatever, and this kind of took a little bit to fully evolve. And then no, I was 15, and I was like, wherever, because it's funny to think about, because at the month my birthday is in June, so basically I turned 15 in the middle of the year, like in the middle, just in the middle. And then I turned 15. I was like, whatever, maybe we'll see. And they were finishing in the month or whatever. And I spent my birthday alone. I was like, whatever. And they kind of tell me, happy birthday and whatever. And then I saw that he didn't talk to me, and I was like, maybe I'm just another girl that he dated and whatever. And before anything happened, I met the next guy that was like basically this guy that was like in their 20s. And my mom also told me like don't fully blah blah blah, and I was like no, I was like the time that I won a little bit of rebellion, that was the last time that I rebelled, I feel like, in my life. And yeah, like he was kind of respectful. I mean, kind of, because he know that I can drink at that age, but like he the way offered me a bird because that was one of the things that a guy does. I feel like he was into drinking and stuff like that, and with him I experienced 15 lots of power in one in one time in my life. Like he used all the laws with me. And I'm quoting this book fully because that is encapsulated all the manipulation tactics. Like from there, I ain't so mad experience because I was texting with him, but like the first thing that happened to me with him, it was like introduction, whatever, and we were dancing and on the prom of this and other guy, and I was like, maybe whatever, because he didn't saw me like fully put tension. So I was like, I don't have any problem. Maybe we could go with another person, whatever. He doesn't have to do anything with that. But like he was a little bit intimidated by this guy because the guy that I talked to that was into drinking and smoking, whatever. I know was a bad guy. Like I know deep down. I don't know why, even though but like I had a mindset of healer. At that time, I want to heal someone. I want to. I had this belief, you know what I mean, that I could change somebody. I could change them. I could maybe make them be better for society. But I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. Even now that I study PTSD, I know that I don't need to be the healer for them, because if I share emotional bond with them, I could literally do excuses for their behaviors. But like, it's a requirement for you to treat somebody to don't be in their life emotionally, don't have a relationship with, like it's something that happened. Also, so I started to talk to them, been like, hi, whatever, and I introduced myself, and I was like, came with the excuse that this guy didn't invite me to dance, like the guy that I told you that I went in a date with him, and I was like, this the guy didn't invite me to dance and whatever, and he was like, yeah, cool, you can dance with us, and like we were dancing and whatever, we were having some fun, whatever. Then he was having some drinks, and that was when the alarm my mom really was just literally hitting. And I was like, no, I'm okay, I can handle this. And I was like, no, like she was a little embarrassed. And then I can totally understand now, but like at the time, I really didn't understand, because people sometimes that are with drinks are with other stuff as well. So yeah, and he was also into smoking, like heavily into smoking. Was not one of the guys that was the one, whatever. Like he was heavily into bad habits, which I fully understand. Don't I don't understand why. Like I had this overview that I could see them maybe walking, maybe I could see them drinking a water only and just don't drinking beer all the time. And he every single, I don't know, it was like a week or like whatever, but like I was just in the moment, you know. And I don't know, the next day came and I was, you know, whatever. And but the night before, I noticed that the first guy that I went like in the day with, like he was telling me that, like I know, like I get to know on the same day that he was about to travel to another country, and that's why he didn't want anything to be attached. But like, why you put all this illusion on me? And like, if they will travel that way, like, can at least don't be engaged emotionally to them, like, because I don't want to treat it like a souvenir. Like, if they will come again with this kind of lame excuse, I will literally close them out of my life. Like, I don't have time for it. Like, if you want a souvenir, purchase something, go to the store. Don't come for me. And that was kind of the thing. And I started to cry because I had this illusion. My family just speaking. But we're almost finishing. So I met this cherry on top. I started to text him on like the next day how he was literally just drunk. I don't know to which level that he can really even know remember me. He was like, whatever. But like he was aware of my age, so that was kind of why he was a little bit more respectful. But like he still wanted to shoot his shot with me a little bit, and like that's when I get to the stage first of him been applying the first law to the 15 laws of power, 47 laws of power. I don't know how many laws of power that can be. But like he applied gaslighting because of the first stage. He was, kind of more into me, let's say, and that he was like, how are you? And whatever. Like he was putting effort. And like then he was like cold and I really was like, I knew this. I maybe was like, maybe what is going on? So I have dopamine on me all the time. Like I had most of the time dopamine with me because he was one time cold and one time being honest. And like it was giving mixed signals. It was giving stuff like that. And whenever person that goes you is not good or like it could be way different things that were going on. Well, like I fully pay attention. I was more aware of that. I would really compare sometimes. Wait. Like I really pay attention. I will allow for what I'm about to say without being offensive, but like my favorite type of tactic that he used that was kind of creative was taking an advantage that I was lonely and wanting to pull his shot. Like the way that he suggested being close to me emotionally was with physical acts. So he was constantly like shooting his shot, being like, "Oh my God, you're so lonely," whatever. And I was like, "Yes, I am." I didn't have that much communication with my mom, but I had with my cousin, and my cousin noted that sign, and like she was like, "Wow, wow." I want to finish this by saying that it didn't took so far. I paid attention to all the signs uh, more than ever. I put this slash bad, but like I pay attention to the signs early. I don't want to do another like full background of all the signs because this will literally take 2 hours. But like, I don't know. It would be funny to talk about this in the podcast soon or maybe later, and then we can maybe just talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about all the signs like in a big and like shorter soon. And that was pretty much how it happened. But like I moved on kind of more quicker when I noticed that he had a girlfriend. I must say because I really don't like people that are taken. I don't like people that are taking for real. And yeah, maybe he could hide from his WhatsApp, but he didn't hide from his Facebook account when he like I noticed that he had his girlfriend holding his arm on their Facebook account because Instagram and WhatsApp was like the apps that he had to be single, let's say, in a sense. Like, I'm glad for that experience. I'm like, either I'm manipulated. No. I learned. Yeah. And that was pretty much what happened. So, take care. Bye. Watch this. You want a little story time. Bye.